One of the reasons why we feel so incredibly guilty when we are setting a boundary or we allow the manipulation strategies of other people to guilt us is because we don't yet have a firm and solid sense of our own worth. We are still being hijacked by other people's thoughts and feelings about us, and we are allowing what they think of us to taint the way we think of us. As recovering people pleasers, we often have this heightened sense of obligation, over accommodation, over giving, because way, way deep inside, we have this hidden foundation that wants to feel loved, approved of, accepted, and liked. And so that energetic foundation is always going to be driving our train. So when someone walks in, and they start to lay on the guilt about something that we are saying no to, or that we don't want to do, or we've set a boundary around, then we immediately are going to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't like the way this person is responding. I don't like the way this person is looking at me or what they're saying to me, or that I hurt their feelings or whatever it might be for you. But when we get what we see as disapproval, that can make us feel really bad. We're going to feel like we are doing something wrong. Also, many of us were raised in a household where guilt was very common, which means that our parents or other people around us, when they wanted to control us, they would just lay on a little bit of guilt. And before we knew any better, because as children, our brains are still forming, we're growing up, we don't really know much when it comes to relationships or self-worth or boundaries or anything else. We just know that that feeling doesn't feel good. And guilt makes us feel like we're bad. So as we grow up through life, pleasing becomes our autopilot. Saying yes becomes our autopilot. And we're so easily manipulated when someone just lays on a little bit of guilt. Now, even though I've been on the recovery path here for probably 10, 12 years or so, I will tell you that I'm still not immune to the manipulation strategies of guilt that comes from people around me. But I've learned a few things about this, and I've learned how to handle this and how to manage this by just practicing the pause, going within, and really processing what's happening here. Now, sometimes I know these things are happening in real time, like you'll set a boundary and then boom, the guilt comes right at you, or the manipulation, or the face, or the disapproval, or the anger, whatever it is that someone lays on to you. It can happen in real time. And you might think, well, I really don't have time to pause. I want you to question that narrative right there, because you are in control of you and you can pause at any given moment. And there's many times when things have happened in real time like that, where I will just pause and sit there as I am thinking through it. We don't automatically have to respond to everybody every single second that they're saying stuff to us. Give yourself the power and the permission to wait and say, what do I think about this? What do I feel about this? And I want you to apply the 3 tips that I'm going to share with you. So let's jump into the 3 tips that are going to help you relinquish guilt and to move on with personal power. The first tip is to question the guilt. Is this appropriate guilt, or is this inappropriate guilt? Sometimes we do things that, they weren't the coolest thing on the planet. They weren't very nice or what have you. And that would be appropriate guilt. However, there's many times that the guilt is not appropriate. The guilt is just going way back to our programming, that we feel like we have to be everything for everybody. We feel like we have to dot everybody else's I's and cross everybody else's T's before our own. But we all know by now that when we take care of ourselves, when we put on our own oxygen mask, then we're better able to take care of other people. So understanding that this is not appropriate guilt to be feeling is going to help you move through that energy. The second tip is to offer another option. I cannot do blank right now, but I would love to help if there's something else that I can do. We can also say, I really love you. I would love to do this for you, but now is not the time. Can we do this at a later time? Now you are offering up your services, your love, your attention to this person, and they have the ability to pick that up if they want to. But if they are just in the means of still guilting you, they're going to keep going on and on. But now you've done 2 things. You've questioned your guilt and you have offered them a different opportunity. So far, you're batting 1,000. And the third tip is to remind yourself why you are doing this. Chances are you are setting this boundary, or you are saying no because you are trying to respect yourself, honor yourself, protect yourself, or just care for yourself. And all four of those things are rooted in love of self. And anytime we are taking care of ourselves through the acts of self-love, it is for the highest good of all concerned. Because anything that is rooted in the energy of love, true love, is for the betterment of everybody. This is a hard thing to see because we are so used to people pleasing and over accommodating and over giving that we're like, it just doesn't feel that way to me. It makes me feel so selfish. This is one of those times that you're going to have to understand and have faith in that principle. I've done that myself. Anytime I said, I'm really doing this because I love myself and I care about myself, and this is for my highest good and for my well-being, always somehow, some magical way over time, it ended up being for the highest good for everyone around me as well. It's so incredibly important to note that on the healing journey, that there are no quick fixes. If there was one, I would hand it to you gladly. It would even be a freebie. I would say, do this one thing, and this is what's going to fix this for you. But unfortunately, that's not the way life works. That's not the way the spiritual journey works. That's not the way self-healing works. This is going to require our effort on a consistent basis. And I will tell you, one of the cool things that happens on this journey is that it's not that things aren't going to come up, because they're always going to. And you are a human being. I'm a human being. We have emotions, we have feelings, we have good days, we have bad days. We're empathetic, we care about people, we're natural nurturers, and we can get to the place where we shorten the duration of how long that we are going to sit in disempowerment. And if you all would like a little bit of help with this, I have 2 freebies for you, and both are absolutely amazing. One is Say No with Confidence, 25 Ways to Decline Politely Without Guilt. I will put that right up here. And the second one is the Self-Love Checklist, Mastering Your Inner World. It's a beautiful PDF where I have listed all the tenets of self-love with a description, and I have a chart with the days of the week and each self-love tenet so that you can mark off and gauge where you are at on the self-love journey. This doesn't mean that we're perfect. This doesn't mean we get to check every box every week. But let me tell you something. Once you look at that and you start to see what you're doing for yourself, that in and of itself is going to raise your worthiness. And you can grab that right up here. If you found value in this today, I certainly hope that you give me a big fat thumbs up. Don't forget to share with someone you love and comment below. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications and join this beautiful community of self-healers. Until next time, everybody, remember, you matter. Don't be afraid to respect, protect, honor, and care for yourself. Just because someone comes in and puts a little guilt on you, you got everything you need to heal, and you have everything you need to reclaim your personal power.